Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Hello, everybody. I just had a few thoughts today because it's the election in the United States. The president will be chosen today if, elections are real. And it's important that we do vote because, there are a few lightning issues that people have, such as genocide and abortion and just differences of opinion on morals is really what those lightning issues are. But I'm wondering, you know will daily lives change, right? Like the food, America has the most poisonous food, the most GMO, and the food has been poisoning us. We can see that in statistics and how fat people are and how childhood diseases, especially things like autism, are usually on the rise compared to, say, 30, 40, 50 years ago. And even if it's Jill Stein, right, who I consider of the three biggest parties running to be the most moral of the choices, even if she's elected, though, will the food stop being poisonous? Will the pharmaceutical companies and the medical establishment stop looking at their bottom line and instead worry about actually curing diseases now? Right? I mean, are those fundamental problems that we have going to change? And I don't think they will, right? And it would just be so nice if we could change the fundamental nature of the way the world works today, right? Because it's all built on profit. It's all built on profit and not on what's actually best for us as humans, right? We don't have the healthiest food. Now, there are some countries, like Russia has banned GMO type food. Some places have it better than others, but there are still problems everywhere. And why is that, right? I mean, why do we as a nation in the United States or all of us as the global community, why do we put up with that? I mean, shouldn't we really be looking at herbs and other alternative medicines that are actually effective and then promote that, right? I mean, I had a fatty liver and a cirrhosis, and I got some of this medicine from China that has actually been around for 500 years. This particular exact medicine has been around for about 500 years, and it cured my cirrhosis. It disappeared. It cleaned up my fatty liver, and the fatty liver disappeared. And I had an MRI done in the United States shortly after that, and they confirmed that these things were gone. And I told my doctor at that time, well, this is what I did. And I took this particular herbal medicine, and she'd never heard of it, I mean, and it struck me as like, if it's been around for 500 years and it appears to be effective, why has supposedly the, best medical care in the world never heard of it? And that's because it doesn't make money for people, right? We have a society built where we're going to brainwash ourselves with our media. We're going to feed ourselves the worst food so that it also clogs us up and makes us slow and makes us not as self-aware as we need to be of what's going on, so that we end up accepting worse and worse conditions, which is what we've been seeing happen in the United States for the last 50 years, basically, maybe even longer, but the 50 years that I'm aware of. And perhaps it's time we start trying to actually create a society for everybody that has justice, and we have health, and we have wealth. We have so many poor people and homeless, and it doesn't actually have to be that way. Right? It used to not be that way. The wealth disparity was never quite so large as it is now, that, at least in the last 100 years. It used to be in America, when you had a minimum wage job, you could actually still pay bills and live, right? A single family earner could cover a house and kids going to college and all sorts of stuff. None of that can happen now. And we accept it, and if we continue to accept it, it'll continue to just get worse. At some point, we have to make a change, and I mean, when, right? When are we going to make that change? That's what we really want to decide, I think. I would say now is better than later. Hope you guys agree.